27 down in the last quarter. They drew the game here last year, Fremantle. These two teams met twice last year for a Fremantle win in the prelim final and for a Fremantle moral victory here at the SCG. And this is huge for the Sydney Swans. They could be 16th on the AFL ladder if they lose this one at the end of this round, and their season could be just about done. Franklin beaten for it by Duffield, feeds it back to Johnson. Heads wide, Crowley on the run with Jack. It's been a good battle all afternoon. Hits the deck, ball in.
We heard Ross Lyon talk about the 15-9 inside forward 50 entries. We spoke at half-time about the discrepancies of disposals, inside 50s. They've all gone in favour of Fremantle. They were plus 20 in disposals, plus 6 inside 50s. Handball receives plus 7 and contested possessions plus 14. So most of the game has gone their way, but just not the effective kicks inside 50.
Fyfe long. Pavlich can't get a run out. It almost marked it anyway. Malcheski handball smothered by Ballantyne, who hasses his way towards it. Grundy, Malcheski, Smith, and he heads wide. The first gamer is on. Jake Lloyd. What a moment for him. First touch in AFL footy. And he just measured the pass nicely enough for Malcheski.
It's just an effective kick. Brandon Jack is the player that's been subbed out.
So both teams have jumped with their subs. Subin on for Taberner and Lloyd on for Brandon Jack. Ball doesn't get to Franklin. Johnson takes it to the line.
Just have a look at this for absolute goal from a star midfielder. He's going to go the instantaneous handball, sees he's covered, changes his mind. So many times now you see players just handball reflexly and get the ball turned over. That's why Kennedy's a star.
Sandlin's free against Derricks.
There's some class in that midfield with Fyfe as well, and certainly Mundy.
Yeah, and here's Mundy on cue to Ballantyne, and Smith just hammers it over the boundary and they can reset.
And a big job for Harry Cunningham, who at the moment has got the job on Stephen Hill. Hill is one of those players, if the Dockers are to win this, he has to star, has to have a major impact.
Yeah, Hill, Daniel Pearce. I'm sure Johnson needs to make an impact off half-back as well.
Hill, 60-metre bomb. Richards gets back, Pavlich gets back, Clark holds his ground. Rampy trying to cut him down, hands it off just in time. Gee, Neil didn't want to have the shot.
Still does.
Did a full 360 and misses. Not confident at all.
Too many options there, unfortunately, for Lachie Neale, but good to see Zach Clark get into the game. He's been backup ruckman, but hasn't really touched it much. It was a good contested ball. He won, laid it off for an opportunity. Should have been a goal. And the other bloke in the forward line who really couldn't draw one at the present time is Chris Mayne, who, you know, he was just about All-Australian last year, and he needs to find some footy or find a role.
Malcheski to Jetta. 21 points the margin. It was 35 if you just joined us. Fremantle are coming hard. LRT gang tackled. Going nowhere.
Not the first time two Dockers have been all over him in that position of the ground. Johnny Longmire just barking instructions to his, looks like his coaching staff in the coach's box at the moment.
Sandlin smashed it. Mzungu taken to the line.
I'd like to see the big crunch punch from Sandlands. He's just got such an advantage. He can tee off. Unfortunately, on that occasion, he didn't quite meddle the ball.
One-on-ones across the ground. No loose man in defence for either team.
Kennedy got his arms free to Parker. Slick hands. Kennedy again. McVeigh keeps it alive. Lewis Roberts-Thompson. Good bump by Johnson. Duffield back to Johnson. And there's the open handball. Mzungu hunted down, not pushed in the back. Fyfe turns it over. Roberts-Thompson, Rampy dumped. Mundy again extracts it, got his arms up.
Oh.
Ballantyne, a kick of some sort. Travelled 3 metres, but it might work. Ball comes clear. Parker, well, he tried the push-off on Fyfe. That's gone.
Yeah, good call from the umpire. No doubt he took on the tackler, and great tackle from Fyfe.
Fyfe has Pearce, who's got a long left leg on him.
Or trouble.
Pavlich on the move. It's in front. Richards up. Way early. Got to be a free.
Against Pav.
Gee.
Oh, no way.
He pulled back into him, and
he's allowed to protect the drop zone. I may differ, Jared. That's a terrible decision.
Yeah, he propped to take the mark. You're allowed to do that, surely. It's your decision when you stop.
He doesn't have to get out of the road for him.
We'll argue about that a little later. Play continues. Grundy rolls it to the outer side. Kennedy opens it up. Sure, they could make them pay here. Lloyd, long inside 50 in the first gamer. Didn't quite know what to do there. Big moment for him, though. Johnson, back to Mzungu. Straight down the middle. Ballantyne, overcooked.
That's twice they've tried to kick it on top of Ballantyne's head.
He's little.
He's not a big man. It's not his go overhead,
That's
Mark.
not his go.
I mean, Pavlich is the man. Hit it over his head, let Ballantyne do the legwork.
Grundy pleading for an option. One-on-ones everywhere he looks. Kennedy, that's a good grab.
He's had a big game and pushed Crowley onto him by the looks.
Kieran Jack, little chip pass. Franklin, he might be within range.
Well and truly, he wants to go.
He's always within range on this ground, Guy.
Is that 50 still 48 or is it 50 now?
I'm not sure about that. I think it is the 50,
Yeah.
but Buddy Franklin, where on the positive side of the centre line is within range, because he can go round blokes willy-nilly, take them on with the leg and also with the big boot.
We're told this ground is actually 2 metres longer this year with the redevelopment of the grandstand. So they have lengthened it slightly. Franklin, couple of skip steps. Got plenty of boot on it. Goal umpire not moving. Missed. Just to the near side.
It has extended over the years because right of screen with that grandstand was extended first. Here's the Pav free kick against. I feel that he had every right to stop because the ball was no longer in front of him, so he wanted to change direction. Oh, speaking of change direction.
Back pocket. Fans are into it. Sydney looking for their first SCG win of the season. They've come into this 1 win, 3 losses. Season almost on the line, and Fyfe floats in. Marks in front of Hanbury.
Well, it's a big battle now, Hanbury and Fyfe. Got to learn a few more tricks against Hanbury than just allowing him to get to the front spot, Daniel. Hanbury.
Great hands by Pavlich. And Fyfe does have a fair bag of tricks. So's Richard, slaps it back. Here's the Hanbury-Fyfe battle again. Kept alive. And still alive. Hanbury scoops it up. Brilliant. McVeigh. Short. First game of Lloyd. Not sure how long his leg is. He chips it. Oh, superb. Franklin from 45.
His teammates come from everywhere to pat young Lloyd on the back for that really good pass. Just waited for Buddy to push off his direct opponent, which, as Barry Hall said earlier, he needs to do. Ran back towards the goal square, pushed his Hanbury's effort, stays in the contest, stays on his feet, quick hands over the top to McVeigh. That itself was a good kick. This one to Buddy was even better.
This one for number 4 for Franklin. You'll hear the roar from 48. There's a new king in town. It's Lance Franklin.
Well, it's an exciting match for Buddy right now. Getting on the scoreboard. Clearly they've got to get the job done, got to complete the work. And this game not over by any shakes whatsoever. But this was just one that probably should have gone out. And just a couple of serious tackles. They've been too hard and too tough for them at this stage. 13 minutes to turn that around for the Fremantle Dockers. But Buddy's having a big night.
Four goals a couple of weeks ago for Sydney against Adelaide in their only victory for 2014. He's got 4 today, and they can almost see the finish line. 13 and a half minutes left. 28 points the margin. Fyfe breaks free. Just knocked on the kick. Drags down Balcheski. Holds it in.
Great work right from Nat Fyfe. He almost got the launch away, and then it was a mucked up kick, but he charged in and executed the tackle.
And the flick down. De Boer rolls it inside 50. Kieran Jack was waiting for it. Lewis Roberts Thompson on the run. Johnson with him. Both get there same time. Sutcliffe tried to flick it out. He was jumped on. And now he's in trouble. Plucked from his grasp.
Great contest.
And well, umpired in the end, you'd think, as Jake Lloyd gets up in the number 44. Been on the rookie list a couple of years. There he is, J-Lo, in the 44. And playing well in his first game as the sub.
Is that his nickname, or you just give it to him, Pot?
I think it's his nickname.
Okay.
Ball on the wing.
Clearance has been dominated by the Fremantle Dockers, but as we spoke about pre-game, it hasn't been a strength of the Sydney Swans to scores from stoppages, but they're certainly dominating that aspect of the game today, as with turnovers. 7 goals, 6 to 5-2 in favour of Sydney from turnovers.
Good tackles by Lloyd. Dragged him down. Slick hands, Jetta sizes up the big sticks, burns them all off and nails it.
And again, I think it's the uncontested players that have been able to be the difference. The ones that can find space off halfback, or the likes of Jetta. See, the ball spills out here. Quick handball from Reece Shaw to put Jetta in space. We haven't seen much of that over the past month. Sydney Swans players out by themselves and having the ability at high speed to finish their good work. Really good finish from Jetta after some good stoppage work. Just working well in congestion and on the outside now. The Sydney Swans there, after being challenged in that third quarter, the numbers are starting to swing back towards the Swans. Uncontested possessions, 24-12, just to reinforce the dominance on the outside in this quarter.
Sydney Swans 12 and a half minutes from their second win of the season, from bringing their season back to life with a first win at the SCG for 2014. John Longmire knows how important this is. They lose today, they'll be 16th at the end of this round if a couple of other results go against them. This is massive.
Great smother by Daniel Hanbury there. He's not playing at his absolute best, but he's taken a major step forward today, Lynchy, with 25 possessions and plenty of inside grunt work.
Well, that's right. I think he's averaged 18 disposals per game for this season, down from his 26 last year, so right on track to his 2013 form.
Neil to Mzungu. Hill. Well played, kept it in front. Pavlich has to be the man now, they know it. He puts it in the Pav's direction. He's about to fly. Got a hand on it, a big hand. Smith with the crumb. Ballantyne hunts it down. Good attack from both players. Malcheski, McVeigh, Laidler, McGlynn.
Just weathering the storm.
Yeah, it was great defence from the Swans. 3 consecutive handballs backwards. In some ways they were blind, just knowing that the teammate was there, and then Laidler hit up a target.
Laidler heads wide. Jack tracks it down. Got a shepherd from Parker. Goes inboard. Umpire got in the way. Hanbury got it regardless. Back to Richards. Time's in their favour now, and they know it. Bounces it out, and they can reset for a ball in.
And it's been a big tackle differential. You see 84 to 54, and it's been frantic from Sydney Swans, and that's been the difference today. Just the tackle pressure from the Swans.
Yeah, spot on, and that is reflected in the numbers, but that's not the total story. It's the pressure and perceived pressure that builds because of those tackle numbers.
A little push out, Clark on Pike. So Pavlich not in the ruck at the moment. He's playing forward, and it's cost them. Pike gets under it. Tough one to mark. Fyfe.
Yeah, holding. Bird had him by the arm.
By the wing.
Wing, yes. Great aggressive kick.
They need to take it on now, and they know it. Sutcliffe to Mzungu. Pavlich leading back inside 50. He leads back to the ball. Initially faked to go goal square. Well read.
Good play on Mzungu to be able to read what Pavlich is trying to do and deliver with a superb kick. Pav needs to kick this one now. He's declared his hand.
Well, Franklin has 4 at the other end. Over to the Pav. He's one of the all-time greats of the competition. In a couple of weeks' time, he could notch up his 300th game and his 600th goal in the same game in a couple of weeks against the Cats. He's been one of the greatest we've ever seen. And on cue, can't quite nail it. On the line, just touched back into play.
Well, they blew that, the Dockers. They had Big Sandy take out one player, pushed him under the ball, and he just needed someone backing him up because that ball was going straight through, but there was, I think it was Jeremy Laidler who was just alone on the line.
Jack. Oh, through his legs.
Just clip the leg on the way through.
89 to 55. Huge leapers go up. Umpire's found a push free. Fremantle ball. It's 33 points the margin right now. The biggest margin of the game was 35. De Boer.
He's missed them. The players inside forward 53.
Free kick off the ball.
50 against McGlynn.
Okay, so this will bring De Boer. He was about 12 metres outside the 50, so he won't be directly in front. He'll still be just outside the square and on an angle. Had the free kick and 50 taken him inside the square, he would have been directly out in front. It's still a goal he should kick. 9.5 minutes left, and they're still alive.
Well, they're hanging on the Fremantle Dockers. I just noticed Chris Mayne coming on for his first run in this last quarter, giving Johnson a rest. Here's the 50 as he just comes around.
Over the mark.
Jumped over the mark. Umpire spot on. Good decision from the umpire. But he wouldn't be the first centre-half forward or bloke who plays that high mid-range forward position to get lost on this SCG. Chris Mayne. There's plenty of better players gone kickless and goalless as centre-half forwards on this ground.
No doubt it's a unique ground to play on, Gerard. Those wide wings, extremely different to Patterson Stadium in Perth, which is the polar opposite. Long ground, very narrow wings, and when you're looking for space as a forward, you can easily get stuck out on that far wing, which is pretty much 110 metres from goal.
Pavlich, long knock to Hill. Straight out of the playbook, that one, towards the pocket, Laidlaw, and that's almost on the fall, just clipped Crowley's foot and out of play.
Here's a nice little pop tap to Stephen Hill from Sandy. Big Sandlands using the space pretty well over the last few weeks. Let's have another look. There it is, out in the space. Didn't quite get hold of it.
Well, great tap, that one.
Ballantyne hammers it inside 50. Crowley. They still sense they're in it, Fremantle. They're still fighting hard. Clancy Pearce, flick back. Ballantyne, he's got the kick away. It's a roller, a tumbler. They've got a couple in a row.
And there, those clearances can mean the difference. Centre clearance, Sandilands to Hill, get the ball forward, and then another clearance. This time just a junk ball, but a couple of mids.
He got clubbed as he kicked it as well from Kieran Jack, but got it on the boot and had the very favourable end-over-end bounce and just missed that right post, snuck through for a goal. Still a sneaky chance.
Barry Hall, what's the momentum feel like right now down there?
Oh, look, it's tight and tough, we know that, boys, but I think Fremantle and the coach Ross Lyons has made a really good move. Michael Johnson's gone forward. I'd really try and isolate him and Matthew Pavlich, who's red hot at the moment. I'll try and isolate them. They've got to play on. They've got to get the inside 50. Instead of trying to save this game, they've got to try and win it. Don't worry about leaking scores. Let's try and score ourselves.
Chris Mayne's a defender. He's got Jetta back there, so unusual position for Mayne.
So Fyfe playing out of the goal square now for Fremantle. Ballantyne clips it. Hill pokes it up. Fyfe at the back. Pavlich got to the back, and they've got 3 in 3 minutes.
Well, they're the match winners. It was Sandlands again to Hill. When Hill gets it, he generally makes good decisions. This one wasn't quite pure, but it gave Pavlich the advantage. Great stuff from Ballantyne again.
But it gets the ball outside that congestion so the players can run into space. That's what you want to do. And from a ruck point of view, great tactic. Get it over the congestion as Ben McGlynn gets a finger in the eye and goes to ground. But over the back, Pav too quick. Great goal, important goal. Brings the margin back to 15 points, and they're clearing the congestion at the moment, Freo, and that's where they're hurting the Sydney Swans, on the outside.
3 goals in 8 minutes. That is very doable. Back in the middle, Sandland's dominating the ruck, and he thumps it. That's as good as a kick. Well read by Smith. Got there first. No one to go to. Pike tries to trap it in there. Stolen by Neal. Couldn't quite break free. Kennedy holds him up and gets it off. McGlynn. Hanbury, they find the space. Jack, a little floater. Dawson, little nudge. Umpires put the whistle away. Mayne, Crowley, Sandlands. Back inside to Mayne. Got his arms free. Turned it over. Parker inboard. Stolen back by Daniel Pearce. Just bangs it long. He knows he's got the numbers down there. Spur left it behind. It's tough for everyone in the kitchen right now. The heat's right on. Fyfe scoops the handball out. Johnson dragged down, didn't have it. Umpires have put the whistle away. They found it.
Which way is this going?
Sydney free.
Oh. Well, Johnson very stiff there. Docker's very stiff. They've plucked one from the umpire that wasn't officiating.
Parker. Good collect.
Jeez, that was frenetic.
3 kicks in it. Cunningham on the wing. 7 minutes left and counting. They played a draw here last year, these two. Sandilands in defence. Arms on it. Couldn't quite. Mayne dumped. Good tackle, Hanbury. He rolled him in the tackle. And the umpire will have to sort this out, surely.
Hit-outs in favour of Freo 14-2, which is not overly surprising, but clearance is 10-5. Here's the free kick. It's gone in favour of Kennedy. Just a high tackle from Pearce, just the arm across the shoulder.
Neal almost threaded his way through. McLean got the throw. Is that on the full? It is. Free kick, Fremantle. Now will they go open side here quickly? Duffield's running for McFarlane.
Well, they got their overlap.
Oh, gee, the umpire's told him to go back behind the mark.
Well, that's cost them a valuable overlap run off deep defence.
Forced him to go to the congested side. Clark up. Couldn't quite. Jack pops one inside 50 in hope. Kennedy tries to spin away. Got his arms clear. Flicked it back. McVeigh, captain today, to the pocket. Jetta. He's quick, but not quite that quick.
Sandland's just screaming out that he wants somebody else to take this.
Zach Clark, he said, get up there, I'm not going to get anywhere near that. He's worn out.
They just can't kill Fremantle off. Fremantle hanging in there. McLean gave it up. Jetta from the pocket. It's a bomb. Goal square. It won't score. It's knocked through.
Well, behind's a bonus really for the Dockers. They get possession. Will they go down the middle? Because they haven't got time to just muck around with possession footy. They've got to get some direction.
3 goals in 6 minutes now, the equation. And there you go, straight down the middle. Clark, Sandland's the knock-on. And it works. Pavlich read it beautifully. He needs a handball option. Flicks it up the ball. Muzungu. No one's in the goal square. Tried to roll it forward. Jack. Smith. And now Hanbury can run. Time in their favour. Long to Franklin. McFarlane. Franklin. It's been a superb battle. Down to Clancy Pearce. Crowd thought Franklin deserved a free. Pearce tucked against the boundary. Swans have the numbers. Jack.
Got to keep running the Dockers. They're just starting to flag a little bit here, Lynchy.
They are, and just missing some open players as well.
Pike goes up. Not quite. Kennedy crumbs it.
Jetta's getting out the back here.
Hanbury. Franklin just beyond his range.
Well, a huge opportunity missed by the Dockers. Sandlands was brilliant, albeit predictable. He knocked the ball long. Pavlich gets it, and then they butchered 2 opportunities to go forward. Getting it forward into the goal square and across the line would have been far better than a turnover midfield.
Well, taking 30 seconds off the clock here, almost as good as a goal.
He's been just such a good player today, Josh Kennedy. He's had 37 possessions. He's kicked a goal. He's set up half a dozen others, and he might just finish it.
Played like a centre-half forward there, just led across beautifully.
Tough kick, but he is a star. From the 50, hits it well. Can't kill him off. There's still 3 kicks from the lead. 17 points. The behind, in essence, doesn't matter.
Well, this time Sandlands has come to the other side of the ground. They're not going to telegraph the move down the middle. They've done it anyway.
Only just.
Mayne to Dawson. Back to Mayne to the open side. Neal to set it all up. Short to Pearce. Made the ground. They don't know how long left. They look at the scoreboard. There's 25 gone. Long bomb. Pavlich down there. Johnson down there. Lewis Roberts Thompson. Not quite the second grab. Muzungu tries to break free. Pavlich tries to lay the tackle. Hill out of nowhere, out on the full.
1 point. Just snuck through for a minor.
Squeezed in.
Just got to get a zone in place, and Sydney need to soak up the atmosphere, the pressure, hit targets, control the tempo of the game.
They've met every challenge so far this afternoon, the Swans. Pike comes hard. 3 kicks, 3 minutes 44. John Longmire, edge of his seat. The whole box on edge. Their season's on edge. They're 1 and 3 coming into this. They could be 16th at the end of the round if they go down. Neil flicks it up. The Sydney Swan chant rings around the SCG. 1 more in their home. They know it. The crowd know it. Bird dragged down. Jump on. Neil flicks it up. And Duffield thought about taking it out. Caught by Rampy. That could be ball. You bet it is.
Well, there's about 3 throws in the middle of it. They were both handoffs, and I think the players are looking for the boundary line. They're a bit confused. I think the doc is expecting the whistle to be blown.
Throw in, they're going to pay here.
It exactly was a throw in because it looked like it. The players were playing like it was. They were waiting for the call.
Well, a few seconds went off the clock there as they tried to decide what was going on. They can't put them on. They're gone. Sandlands, big smash forward. Clark read it well, but he left it behind. Shaw the sidestep. Hammers it wide. More seconds tick down. Duffield will get back. Bird will ride into the line. 2 minutes 54 left.
It's an area of the game that Zach Clark's got to get better at. There's a low ball coming in. They're talking premierships. They're talking grand final appearances. The Dockers, they've got a standard that they've got to meet, and they've got to get better if they're to go one better. He's one player that's got some issues, got great strengths in the air. Good tap ruckman, but ground ball he needs to get better at.
Back into play. Sandland's the key, and he's wrapped up. Still a chance, the Dockers.
Had a huge last quarter, Sandlands.
Worked hard.
He's had a good season.
Yep. He'd have a lot of Brownlow votes, Dwayne. I reckon in the first 2 weeks he would have been racking up a couple. They all had a bad third week, and they all had a good fourth week.
And it opens up. Strangely enough, Sydney left the corridor free. And McFarlane, he gave him 10 metres on the mark attempt.
The players loose everywhere, actually, Freo. Sydney dropped right back deep.
Duffield squeezes wide to Johnson. Well, this is bizarre. Exactly the same spot that he kicked a goal last year to give them a chance at a win.
It's a nightmare. Actually, Sydney just dropped far too far back defensively and just allowed too many short, uncontested passes up the field.
He kicks this. The margin will be 10 points with 2 minutes left. The game almost hinges on this. It's across the face. Pavs up. Slapped away. The crumb. Dawson, unlikely hero. Clark the fumble. Hanbury. But Johnson's waiting for it. He's up. And knocked away from him by Jack. Crowley to the line. Taken out, ball in. We're down to 1 minute 51, and the crowd are into it. Everybody knows how important this is. The Swans' season momentum hinges on it. They haven't won at the SCG yet this year, and they won't be back here for 5 weeks. Sandlands knocks it down. Cunningham tries to hack it clear. Daniel Pearce. Hill. Sandlands. Not 15. Neil turns it over. Jack hammers it wide. Franklin, if he gathers this, he's got no one to go to. Looks up. There's not a soul home. He's got the first gamer. Jake Lloyd, open goal if he gets there. Takes it out. Not a bad move. Well worked, J-Lo. Ball in. 1:21 left. And the Swans are home.
Good pace from Lloyd as well. Buddy, good kick. Put it out in front of his rookie teammate, and now the ball's 160 metres from the Fremantle goals.
That was a lot better than a behind. Ball knocked down. Hanbury. Lloyd under it. Knocked down to ground. Fremantle still trying their hearts out. Subin the chip kick. Pavlich turns around. Back to Subin.
Got to go possession. No one forward of the ball, but they've still got to somehow take it forward with hands. Great tackle.
Pearce dragged down, and that will do. Lloyd, Rampy. Swans fans know this is a huge win for the Sydney Swans. Jetta
Oh, kick.
Superb pass to McGlynn, who can put a big exclamation mark on what's going to be their best win of the season.
See, that was a good kick from Jeddah. Good turnover. Again, the pressure on the Fremantle ball carrier was really good, but in defence, I think it was Pearce running through the middle. He had no one to kick to whatsoever. Didn't get great support around him, but
it's a couple of times it's happened in this term, though, and they've butchered it.
Yeah.
It's something they need to address going into the depth of the season.
Just clips to the inside of the post, but it won't matter. Good crowd in here at the SCG today. Swans have been under some pressure. Their coach has been under pressure. Franklin's been under pressure. But right now, they are back in the reckoning for 2014. The Swans, the fans fell in love with, are back at the SCG. Met every challenge. Under almost unbelievable pressure at times, and they were strong enough to get home in the end by 17 points.
Great effort from the Sydney Swans, and we saw the effort was certainly there in the first term. Didn't have all the class that we've recognised over the last few years, but the effort was certainly there, and the class came with time. We spoke about score sources pre-game, how they dropped away from their scores from stoppages. They've been able to turn that around. Last year they were plus 15 and ranked second in the competition. Tonight they were plus 12, so 6-6 from stoppages, so that was a really valuable turnaround. But it all came with the effort, tackling pressure. Their contested players in and around the ball got on top, and importantly, the uncontested work. The players on the outside, and that was Mel Chesky, Reece Shaw off half-back as well. Jeddah, as we saw, got on the outside as well. So some really good signs from a Sydney point of view. The effort was there for the Fremantle Dockers, but not at the level they'd be very